Hello, welcome back. My name is Nkechi and you are tuned into NkechiCares, a platform where we help parents establish healthy eating patterns as well as great money habits which they can transfer onto their kids who can now go on and thrive in society as great adults. Now, if you haven't done so, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can be alerted when there are new content uploaded on this channel. And then I am also on Instagram, so please go ahead and follow me at NkechiCares. Now, on to today's topic, money and budgeting. Yeah, the two go hand in hand. They do. I cannot talk to you about meal prepping and whatnot without first addressing the elephant in the room in many homes. We are all aware that money is one of the top 3 causes of fights and divorces in many homes worldwide. So I would be remiss if I didn't at least topically talk about this subject. So here goes. Do you think the education we received when we were younger and the ones our kids are currently receiving is going to prepare them adequately in the right way to handle money? Well, from the 12 years I've gone through of elementary school, middle school, and high school, as well as undergrad and high school, that did not prepare me for how to handle my money. Trust me, I gave the bank so much money, $39 to be specific, in insufficient fees just because I thought I had made a budget. I had made it quite all right on paper, but it did not transfer. I did not keep to it. I tried to remember, okay, rent, this and that, but you know what? Not looking at it, not going over it, and not really using exactly what you said you would do was what caused me to be in the red nearly every month. And my life changed when my husband taught me we both stuck to a plan, and that has really helped us in our finances now. I personally think that budgeting should be taught from middle school all the way to high school. But until that law comes into effect, we as parents need to take that responsibility to properly equip our children. No one else will do that job for us. Yes, some say that the love of money is the root of evil. I don't believe that though. I think you need to be able to adequately use the money you make, either as a doctor, as a pharmacist, as a hairdresser, as an artist, whatever skill you have. You need to be able to know how to properly utilize your money. If not, it doesn't go, nothing will be enough for you. There's always going to be something you're chasing, and we don't want to keep on being a rat caught up in a wheel chasing something that really isn't there. The essence of a budget is to basically give your money an assignment. Give every dollar that comes in a task to handle, and then of course making sure that that task is accomplished. Giving your money an assignment and making sure the assignment gets completed. You're making your money work for you and not allowing your money tell you what, and not allow life happen to you. Budgeting gives you the freedom to say yes or no to matters when they arise. A budget ought to be done before the beginning of each month. So we're in the month right now of January. The budget for January ought to have been completed in December, and then when January comes, then you just go ahead and dole out the resources according to how you allotted your money. And yes, you need to do a new one for each new month that happens, even though it might seem redundant. Granted, the first probably 3 months when you're working on your budget, it's going to probably feel tedious. It will seem impossible. You will make mistakes. Please give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. After a while, like 4 to 6 months, you would see that you've become a pro at it. And then some line items also would seem like routine for you. Mortgage, you know how much you pay in rent or in mortgage every month. You know how much is probably going to cost in fuel, give or take, of course, the fuel prices. But you would know after a certain time, some bills will be regular and occur frequently. So those ones will be very easy for you to go in and tick off in your line item. Now, one important thing in the budget is the budget comprises of 3 categories: give, save, spend. Again, give, save, spend. Under the give category, you're given to probably like to your church in the form of tithes. You're given offerings. You're also giving to whatever charity you are affiliated with. Now, under the save spending, that is probably where your children's college fund come in. If you are in that space, that is probably where you are giving out extra. You are saving extra for future investment. That is also probably if you are in a rental right now, you're probably working towards enough money for down payment of your home. You also, under the save category, you're also working towards probably topping up your emergency fund. And then also under your spend categories, everything else falls there. You're first taking care of your four walls. And what is that? That is food, that is utilities, that is shelter and transportation. Again, food, utilities, shelter, transportation. Once you have taken care of your four walls, then you are able to live and keep on fighting. All right, then before you even tackle the credit cards, before you tackle your student loans and whatnot, you first take care of your four walls, because you don't want to tackle those other things and then you're trying to make do or take care of your four walls with a credit card. That is how we keep on, going around the rat wheel race. Now, when you are able to do a budget properly, the math is pretty easy. Knowing how much comes in allows you to properly assign money to where it's most needed. Take, for example, you're probably making 50,000 as a household income. Your budget, the math will tell you that you cannot afford to make a $700 payment on a car. The math will also tell you that you cannot afford to pay rent $1,500. The math will also tell you that you probably cannot spend $500 a month eating out. You have not yet taken care of your four walls and your money is already gone. So the math will tell you to probably go down to a smaller rental, maybe share an apartment if need be, for a time being, until you can get other debts out of the way. Friends, your ability to make a budget and stick to one and then transfer that same skill to your children is setting them up for great success, unimaginable success. Because success is not about you being the next YouTuber. It's not about you being the next basketball player or whatnot. It's about you being able to utilize the resources that you have. Even if it's for a short time, use it maximally and allow it to last you, to go a long way with you. Savings is critical. It's key. I read a book years ago by George Robert Clason, and it's titled The Richest Man in Babylon. If you get a chance, please invest in that book. This is not a promo. Nobody paid me to say this, but I think it's going to be a blessing to all yours life. The book is titled again, The Richest Man in Babylon. It was written sometime in 1926, but this book basically tells the story. Now, I don't know if it's fiction or not, but I promise you would learn from this book. It tells the story of the richest man in Babylon, talking about how he got to be where he was. And he gave one important thing that stuck with me even throughout the entire book, was that he gave himself, he paid himself, for lack of a better word, paid himself first. Before sending it to the credit cards, before sending it to anything else, he paid himself first. What does that mean? That means you need to have a savings. But of course, you can have a savings if you're always sending something here and there and whatnot. You end up with nothing at the end of the day. And of course, honestly, if you have debt, you really have to accept your home. Of course, you really have to do your best to tackle those, so that will give you more opportunity to save. You might also ask a question: how do I even broach the subject? How do I know when my kid is ready to hear about money? Oh, they'll tell you when they're 4 or 5 years old. They'll ask you for this or for that, and you will say, oh, you have to earn this, you have to do that. That is probably one way of you introducing the subject of money in your house. Secondly, they might ask for something, maybe like, oh, I want some strawberries. Sorry, I already got groceries for this week. You would probably have to wait till next week because I'm working on a budget. And that is also now your entrance, your opening to be able to introduce the subject of money. Of course, just baby steps, nothing something too overwhelming for them to understand. But you know what? You can do it. I'm very sure you can. Currently, my kids, my older kids, my 8.5 and 10.5-year-old, they earn money, and we have taught them to allocate it into 3 categories, which is what I told you all earlier: give, save, spend. So they know, okay, I'm gonna give this amount to give, this amount to spend, and then this amount to save. And they're probably saving for whatever it is. My son at one time was trying to save for a Fitbit. Now he has changed to something else. I don't know. I can't keep up. But the point is that he is working towards a goal, and he understands the principles behind it, albeit how little it is. Okay, now for my take-home points for you all. What have we learned so far? Proper handling of money requires us to make and adhere to a budget. What is a budget? It's not constraining, it's not confining, it's giving you permission to spend. And what do you do within a budget? You assign every dollar a task, a mission to accomplish. And lastly, you've got to have your 3 categories in your budget: your give, your save, and your spend. Homework assignment for you, take home points. Please go ahead and probably review maybe the month of November or October of 2020 and see how you did, see how much came in, and then what were the allocations in terms of how was your money distributed? Is there room for improvement? Is there room for change? And then lastly, if you're thinking of starting this journey of budgeting, you've said 2021 is my time to start this endeavor of budgeting, please be encouraged. There are many budgeting apps. Thank God for technology. Go onto your Play Store, be it your Android, your iPhone, or whatever kind of phone you have. Go ahead and download a budgeting app. There is one called Every Dollar, and I really like that. It's pretty good. I use an Excel sheet that was created by my husband about 10 years ago. I love it. I'm hands-on and I'm sticking to it for now. But if I didn't have that, for sure the Every Dollar app would be what I would use. It's pretty easy, especially if it's a novice who's not so sure how to handle things. That is really easy to be able to use. On that note, I'm going to leave you with today's memory voice, today's quote of the week, and today's quote of the week is taken from Luke chapter 14 verse 28, and it says, "But don't begin until you count the cost, for who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there is enough money to finish it?" Thank you for watching today's episode on money and budgeting. If you haven't done so, go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and you can also click on the notification button. Follow me on Instagram. If you do have any questions or comment, or you want to hear anything more, you want me to expound on budgeting or teach you more about it, please go ahead and send me an email. I'm more than willing to do so and make a separate video on that. And I can be contacted at info@NkechiCares.com. That is again info@NkechiCares.com. Till next time, this is NkechiCares. Bye.